is Violin, and today we're going to be unboxing the Inner Temple Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. Now, this is kind of a very special deck for her, and I'm really excited to get into it, so let's go. The art is definitely different from the pastels that she uses on her other boxes. And you can also see that it does not follow the triangle card holder like the other ones do, but this one does have a card holder as well. When you open it up, it unfolds and actually magnetizes in place. I can feel. So you can put like one of your cards in here as like an altarpiece. And inside it has an attunement. So instead of an attunement card like two of the decks have, that I have, this one has the attunement on the actual box itself. And we see here, these are the cards, the strip holding them together says the temple is within. And I like how this one has a nice little ribbon to help with pulling out the cards. And the guidebook as well. And in here, at the bottom of the deck, it says, "You are the Oracle." So I did notice that this box was a little bit bigger than the other deck boxes that I have, but it might be due to the inside here. It's definitely a different box. And as usual, we have the guidebook, and it has some ideas for like a card of the day or some spreads. And then it goes into the actual cards themselves. Now, this deck is unique in that it has different suits. And so, we have the Chambers suit, the Activation suit, the Soul Inquiry suit, and the Polarity suit. And this one shows the cards at a glance, so at a glance descriptions of each of the cards. So this is really interesting and helpful, and definitely helps with if I have a card and I need to quickly look up what its meaning is, because this one, the cards do not actually have the messages written on them. They just have the names. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. And okay, so this was the way to start. I'm gonna put this on there. Actually, I'm gonna take it because I do need it to introduce the different cards. And this card up top says this is more than an oracle box. Your oracle deck box does more than just hold your cards. It's also an oracle card display frame, which allows you to insert your card of the day or week for ongoing guidance and inspiration. There's also a QR code for the ritual. And then it says on the long inside panel of your box, you'll find the Inner Temple Oracle attunement to support you to connect with your cards. You can also find an attunement meditation video to guide you to activate your deck and attune to your inner temple. So there's a QR code for that one as well. So I'm going to put this in the bottom there, and then we'll get to the cards themselves. First off, we have the Chamber of Forgiveness. The guidebook says, "There's no question that it's through our relationships, both with ourselves and others, that we grow the most. Through the disappointments, betrayals, heartaches, and heartbreaks, through growing apart and the inevitability of change, through all of this we grow." The Chamber of Forgiveness reminds us of our innate innocence and of the need to keep our heart tender towards ourselves and others, to soften and humble ourselves in our humanness. When the heart hurts, it wants to shut down, harden, and close itself off from the world. This is a normal reaction to the ache that comes with being human. The Chamber of Forgiveness is a card of heart healing and deep, deep compassion for yourself and others too. It invites us to find a way to keep our heart open through the hurt, the blame, the betrayal, the anger, and the shame. Not to shut down or close our heart over or harden ourselves from life. Our grief is evidence of how much we love, for it's impossible to live with an open heart and not experience hurt or grief. Forgiveness has mysterious timing, and you cannot rush it. But there often comes a day when, after many tears have been shed and candles lit, the heart doesn't ache like it did before. We may find a softness in our voice where there was previously sharpness and pain. This is the energy of the Chamber of Forgiveness. It's a process that's unfolding within us always, and if this card appears for you, the chances are this process is intelligently unfolding within you too. And at a glance, it says the attributes are, in a sense, softening, humble yourself, heart healing, grief, compassion, forgiveness, self-forgiveness. And you can see here on the back, it's got this cool, almost portal-like design. Again, different from the pastels that the other three decks have, but I think it's really beautiful and celestial, and I have always loved space and stars and galaxies, so I really love the way it looks. It'll definitely be interesting to see how it shuffles into my other decks. Next, we have the Chamber of Healing. Healing is always happening, for to heal is to change, and you're always changing, always returning to wholeness. Wholeness isn't a static state, as we're always growing and transforming. It's nature's way, and you're part of nature. When this card appears, it's acknowledging that you're in a deeper state of healing, and it's okay to ask for help and slow down to let healing happen. This card comes with a tender message to trust your innate ability to heal through the changing seasons of your life, to stop seeing yourself as broken, or to think of healing as something you need to do before you truly live, for to heal is to change, evolve, and grow. Healing can be a slow, steady process. It's complex, not linear. It takes as long as it takes. However, like all things in nature, there's a mysterious intelligence to it, and if we trust it and let the once vibrant petals fall to the earth, cut back what's no longer thriving, and protect the buds from being pried open too early, we too may find ourselves in a second bloom, and fruit will follow. If you didn't see yourself as unhealed or broken, what would you do? If you didn't see yourself as unhealed or broken, how would you live your life? If you didn't see yourself as unhealed or broken, what decisions would you make? How are you being called to prioritize your healing? What healing are you ready to receive right now? ask your heart, your mind, and your body to reveal what's most helpful to you and call it in. And the attributes for this one are deep healing, never broken, patience, tenderness, body, healing is happening. Next we have Chamber of Innocence. I'd just like to say that the outside of the deck definitely goes away from the pastels of the others, but the inside I think still very much evokes them. This is again the same artist that did the Rose Oracle and the Healing Waters Oracle, and I really love and appreciate her art. So it's nice to see it again in this particular deck. So we have the Chamber of Innocence. This one says, "You're holy and whole. You're innocent and innately good. You never got kicked out of the garden. None of us did. You're wholly welcome here. If you feel as though you've done something wrong without knowing what it is, if you feel ashamed about hurting someone, or if you're finding it hard to be generous with yourself, it's time to release any shame, judgment, or bad feelings. Do what you need to do to let go and make amends, but don't forget that you're a human, and as a human, you're here to learn and grow, and so is everyone else. You're a precious child of the earth, no matter your age. There's nothing wrong with you. There never was. Be gentle with yourself, and in turn, be gentle with others. The harder we are on ourselves, the harder we'll be on someone else, and the harder someone else is on others, the harder they are on themselves." This card comes with a message of tenderness, of gentleness, of self-forgiveness. Don't be so hard on yourself. Treat yourself like the innocent one that you are. It's impossible to get it right all the time. Don't you remember that you came here to grow? You have a right to be here, and you don't need to prove your worth. You have goodness in you. You're an ever-changing work in progress. Grow and learn, but do it softly. When we know better, we can choose to do something new. This is what it means to be human. What does the innocent child within you want you to know? What does the innocent child within you want you to do? Lay down your sword. You have nothing left to prove. And the attributes are, you didn't do anything wrong. Childlike innocence, gentleness, be kind to yourself. So it's interesting that they have kind of like the messages for the cards. They're just not on the cards. They're in the guidebook. Next we have Chamber of Inspiration. And the messages are creativity, expression, passion, acting on inspiration, creative projects and visions. This is the card of divine inspiration and creativity. Your ideas are divinely guided, and you're being encouraged to follow those sparks of inspiration from within. There are creations that are beckoning to be born. Go create with life and bring them into form. What's inspiring you right now, and how can you follow that inspirational trail? We're creative beings living in a creative world. Life itself is creative, and it's always creating every moment of every day. And because you're part of life, you're always creating too. Many people believe that they're not creative, but to be alive is to be creative. To create is to put things together for something new to be born. A moment earlier, that creation didn't exist, and then, all of a sudden, the dream is realized. What an amazing thing creativity is. This card can be a confirmation to tend to those seeds of inspiration you've become aware of. It could indicate an exciting new creative project or a period of wonderful creative expression. Tend the seeds of inspiration that are budding and blooming within you. The soul longs to create. The moment you feel stuck, trapped, or captive, you cut yourself off from spirit and creativity. When you feel free and allow yourself time and space to play, and for your inner child to roam free, inspiration will bubble up from within. What inspiration have you had recently? What ideas have been beckoning you forth? This card is encouraging you to trust your inspiration and your imagination, to act on the inspiration. Your creations are inviting you to bring them into form. becomes a reality. Creator, clear visions, emanate. What do you truly want? It says, what dream does your soul have that you'd like to bring to life? This card often appears when something you've been dreaming into being is coming into form or has arrived. It can involve a relationship, a job, a creation, a change in your life. Your vision and action are about to be rewarded, and now, or very soon, you'll get to enjoy the fruit. Don't put off the celebration and enjoyment of the fruit. Receive and relish it fully. Enjoy your creations when they're here, and resist rushing on to the next thing. There's no rush, for if you can't enjoy what you've been working toward creating, what's even the point? How can you embrace your existing creations fully? How can you celebrate and be grateful for what you already have? Receive and celebrate the fullness of what you've created before moving on to anything else. The key to calling in more enjoyment is to enjoy the process. Spring teaches us this, with its buds so full of promise and the surging energy so full of life and possibility. The energy of a new moon holds these promising seeds too. Create space in your life to whisper your wildest dreams under the light of the new moon. Do it from a place of being in the joy of the present moment. Enjoy each part of the process of your becoming. For if you don't, by the time your manifestation comes into form, you may find that you missed the moment completely because of being so consumed by what you want to manifest next. What do you most want to create in your life, and how can you be grateful for the present moment as you do so? So that is the Chamber of Manifestation. Next we have the Chamber of Power. The message is inner strength, empowerment, sacred power, occupy your space, self-belief. The Chamber of Power is an invitation to cultivate your inner strength, confidence, and trust in yourself, to believe that you have a right to be here, to occupy your life, to invite your sacred soul to come all the way in. Yes, you're here for a reason, and your body is your sacred vehicle. Choose to occupy and cultivate your sacred power. You were born with it, and it's yours to own. Within you, you have everything you need to do whatever you're called to do. You hold the keys to your inner power. There's nothing you need to be other than you already are. So often we learn to dim our light or water down our power in order to accommodate others or to fit in. But you didn't come here to fit in. No person did. So no matter what body is yours or what gifts you possess, no person is more worthy of power than you. And you're no more worthy of power than any other. Power isn't a finite resource. We can stand tall together. For too long we've learned to turn against each other, to compete, shrink, or conquer others. We put others on a pedestal or attempt to stand higher than them in order to own our strength and inner gifts. You hold the keys to your inner power, and you can open that door deep within right now. If you were feeling empowered, what will you say or do? Next we have the Chamber of Protection. And the message is boundaries, energetic well-being, individuation, looking after your own needs, free choice. The guidebook says, don't place your attention outside yourself, focus it within. The more you look to external sources to guide, nourish, validate, or affirm you, the more likely you'll feel off kilter. Draw your strength, your guidance, your truth, your worth from inside. If you draw your sense of safety from outside yourself, you'll forever be defending yourself from the outside world. Many see energetic protection as a sort of defense, something they need to be wary of. But if you take looking after your sacred space into your own hands, you get to decide who enters it, much like the guard bee, a natural-born protector who decides who will enter the sacred space of the hive. Sometimes this card appears when you're being called to renegotiate your boundaries with places and people, which really means to redefine redefining your definition of sacred space. This card can also appear when you've become overstimulated by the energy of other people and may have been drawing your sense of self from outside rather than within. The Chamber of Protection is an invitation to resource yourself. You can do this by connecting with Source and the Earth and doing whatever you need to do to replenish and take care of your own needs, to give from a place of plenty, not a place of depletion and lack, for that's how resentment builds and boundaries become blurry. You're being called to tend to your energy and energetically prioritize yourself, to stop feeling like you owe anyone anything more than you owe yourself. Drop the guilt, take personal responsibility, and put your needs first. You get to define what your sacred space is and who is permitted to enter. And it looks like we have 11 cards for each suit, which lines up with a typical 44 card deck of Rebecca's decks, save for the Starseed Oracle. Next we have Chamber of Soul Contracts, and the message for this one is Soul Plan, born for this, helpful people, soul agreements, things are coming together. The Chamber of Soul Contracts appears as a confirmation that what you're currently experiencing or being called to experience is part of your soul's plan. What are you being called to do? And what support do you need? Call it in, call it in, call it in. It's a mistake to believe that you're here on your own, that answering the call you feel in your heart is solely up to you. You being here matters to those who came here to walk alongside you. Your presence lights up the way for them, and their presence lights up the way for you. We each hold a thread for the healing of humanity. We didn't come here alone. We came here as weavers, each to play our part and embody our soul in our own unique way. There are helpful people who are here to support you on your journey. Maybe you already know them by name, or perhaps it's time for you to call them in more fully, to make them feel appreciated, named, and known. These are souls who are here to assist you on behalf of humanity. For the more deeply you step onto your soul's truest path, the more deeply others will be able to do the same. If there's something you're called to do, there's a team of people who are here to help you do it. Next, we have the Chamber of Soul Gifts. The message for this one is skills, passions, talents, success, uniqueness, a path to follow. It says, your soul came into this world with gifts waiting patiently to be found. You'll know you found a gift through how lit up you are when you do. When time expands and heaven and earth seem to meet, there's a gentle, full pull, an expansive feeling, a deep resounding yes. Sometimes our gifts are clear early on, and those around us celebrate their presence in the world. Other times we may discover them eventually, but lack the confidence to trust in them. This card beckons you to be passionately daring. It urges you to cherish the things that make you come alive and that you're most passionate about, to trust the things you're silently drawn to, and not just to do what you think you should if this goes against what's true for you. When we embrace our gifts, we light up the world without even trying. When we follow our gifts, we become more alive and more present to life. Just like the flower, just like the tree, when we follow our gifts, we express our unique, true nature and bless the world with our presence. What gift is patiently waiting for you to embrace it? What are you drawn to doing? Maybe it's something you're already aware of and celebrated for, or perhaps it's something that's emerging for you. This card is encouraging you on. It's giving you a supportive push to follow your secret passions and favorite pastimes and to be uniquely you. Next, we have the Chamber of Surrender. The message is change, loosen your grip, let go of control, courage, faith, hand it over. Everything changes, and so it should. Nothing is stagnant or permanent, so anything you attempt to control or cling tightly to will likely cause you to become out of sync with life's intelligent ways, and this card is your reminder to loosen your grip. This doesn't mean that the things you cling to for fear of nothing coming to take their place aren't meant for you. If you loosen your grip, they may indeed stay right there, but devoting all your life force to the clinging will likely leave you depleted, rigid, and stuck, as you rely on your personal will rather than the flow of life. Surrender requires courage and the faith that if you give it your all, that which is meant for you will find you. If you're looking to create something or call something in, surrender is an important part of the process. If you're having a difficult time in a relationship, surrender can be an essential ingredient. Sometimes the way to shift something is to find a way to soften our rigidity around it. Whether your dream is for a relationship, a career accomplishment, an acknowledgement, or to heal something all-consuming, surrender is key. This card comes with a message of hope and encouragement, telling you not to lose heart, and to remember to keep telling yourself, I surrender, I surrender, I surrender. Next, we have the Chamber of Transformation. Message is initiation, rebirth, deeper than before, it's happening, potency, endings and beginnings. You're not who you once were, and also not who you'll soon be. Now, and now, you're not the same person. Embracing this takes courage. Embracing this requires faith. We're all alchemists, shapeshifters. Transformation is our natural state, but if we're seeking a constant state of perfection, we'll hold ourselves back from the most glorious transformation to come. True transformation isn't pretty, but it is beautiful. It's glorious and messy as we expand and contract, expand and contract. Rebirth is impossible without death first, and it's while we're in the fertile void of our becoming that we discover that what feels like a tomb is actually a womb, and in this moment we realize that we're birthing ourselves anew. The Chamber of Transformation card appears when a significant period of initiation is occurring. Initiation isn't always smooth, but it is significant, and when you pass through the birth canal of the transformation, you'll be reborn differently than before. It's a crucible in which we're reborn anew right in the middle of our lives. This card can appear in a spread to tell us that our soul is scheduled to go deeper than before. It could be a beacon of light inviting you to keep hold of the grace that's carrying you through, or it can be an indication that finally you've been reborn anew. So that is the Chamber's suite, or suit. Chamber's suit. Next, we have the activation suit. And the first one is ancestral healing. Message is, I honor my ancestors for the life that they gave me, and I set myself and them free. So I think it's interesting to note, before I continue, I probably should have done this before I started into introducing a card, but the different suits have different kind of themes. The Chamber's suit, the cards offer doorways into different chambers within your inner temple that can be accessed for healing and inspiration for specific situations. The activation suit activates energetic imprints within you, opening you up to expansive new possibilities. The soul inquiry suit helps you hear the whispers of your soul and get clear on how you can embody and act on them. And the polarities suit, on each card offers two potential interpretations of a situation, so you can tune into your own truth and embrace the whole picture and the full experience of life. I thought that was really interesting. Anyway, ancestral healing. During these times, so much is coming up for healing. We're discovering how hurt can be passed down from cell to cell through the generations. Our ancestors are the reason we're here, and without them, our soul wouldn't be in human form. From them, we may inherit many gifts, as well as patterns of conditioning and trauma that we long to be free from. Many of these patterns are coming to the surface now in order to be processed and healed. Sometimes those who came before you weren't able to understand, let alone process, what has thus far gone unhealed. Sometimes it takes a courageous soul with an open heart, when the conditions are just right, to feel in order to heal, to process in order to free themselves. This card is an acknowledgement, a nod toward the work you're doing as a circuit breaker in your family system and in the collective. You're being acknowledged for the part you're playing in the healing of humanity through healing yourself and being with what is. You're being acknowledged for the part you play in healing your ancestral line and the collective too. Maybe you're in the midst of deep ancestral healing, or perhaps you're finding your way back to the surface, having journeyed to the depths of the line you came into. Try your best to honor the gifts of that line as well as the difficulties. In doing so, you not only set your ancestors free, but you galvanize that energy and transform it into strength and support. And the activation is the message. Miss it for this one. That is ancestral healing. Next we have the beauty way. The message and activation are, I open my heart to see the beauty that's all around me. Beauty is about much more than appearance and aesthetics. Beauty always has a deeper purpose, and it doesn't try to be anything other than what it is, which is why it takes our breath away. Life is beautiful, but it isn't pretty. Beauty is very different from pretty. Pretty is perfect, but it's static, fixed, earthen. It holds no substance, it has no depth, and it's not really alive. Pretty never lasts, but beauty is timeless. Beauty holds the essence of life. It contains within it the great mystery. Birth and death are beautiful. Love is beautiful. Friendship is beautiful. Growth is beautiful. All things that are beautiful have a tension within them. Perhaps it's this tension that makes them beautiful, for we appreciate how much of a blessing and a miracle they are when we witness them in their fleeting state, in that never-to-be-seen-again moment. Babies are beautiful. Flowers are beautiful. The ocean is beautiful. Life is beautiful. You're beautiful. Beauty transforms the beholder through its brutal honesty. It activates the breath of life as we exhale in awe, and it brings us into the present moment. If you open your eyes, you'll see that this world is made up of such beauty, and if you do your best to acknowledge it when you can, you'll be brought instantly into the present moment. You'll be inspired to embrace your true nature and sacred purpose, for it's the fact that all things change that makes them all the more beautiful in each moment. This card is a reminder to seek the beauty of this world in your life, and in turn to create beauty wherever you go. Next we have the ceremony of life. And I'm trying to hold myself back from the previous card. Very much made me think of a very specific fandom reference. I will hold myself back from that, but once we get to the actual weekend readings, all cards are off the table, metaphorically speaking, and all the references will be made. But I'm very much trying to hold myself back from making those references right now because we're trying to engage with the cards. So, anyway, the ceremony of life. Message and activation is, I choose to embrace my life and live fully while I have the privilege of being here. This is a card of devotion, of weaving the sacred all the way in and all through your life. It's a card of sacred ceremony and integration. You're being asked, how can you make your life? How can you make your life a ceremony? If you were to live in prayer, what would change? What if you saw it all as a sacred celebration? If you could devote your life to something, what would it be? What would you do? The invitation of this card is to design your life in a way that feels sacred, to dared to embrace all aspects of your life and let Spirit be with you in every moment. So many people on a spiritual path lead lives that are compartmentalized. They go and do their spiritual practice, then go about their everyday lives. But what if you made your whole life a celebration of the sacred? What if you found ways to bring the spiritual into the physical? What would change? How would you spend your time? Another invitation of this card is to let your life be an expression of your passions. What do you love doing that you could embrace even more? If you really woke up to the gift of this life, how would you spend your days? If you acknowledge that you only have a limited amount of time here, what would you do? What would you create? How would you love? Who would you embrace? What do you truly yearn to do while you're in this body on this planet? What will you do while you're here? The next one is golden. And again, I'm not going to make any references right now. But again, next time, when it's reading time, the references will be made. The activation and message for this one is, I relish this moment right here and right now. I am grateful and I am blessed. It's safe for me to embrace it all right now. There's nowhere else for me to be and nothing else for me to do. No one is immune to the highs and lows of the human experience. Change is a constant and we're forever being invited to embrace it. Our grief shows us how much we love and our souls came here to truly live. However, there may be moments in our life where it seems like we're given a golden pass. Everything opens up and seems to go right. It's at times like these that we must celebrate every single moment. Celebrate our wins, sing at the top of our lungs just how grateful we are. This card is the most glorious card to receive. It's a sign that things are golden for you. Life is on your side. What you've been working toward is bearing fruit. You're in a very special place and are being invited to relish every moment. Just like the golden hour of sunlight before sunset, this card is shining a light on how things are working out for you. If it's in a future position in the spread, then it means that golden days are ahead for you soon. So don't give up now, keep going. If it's in the current position, embrace every moment right here and right now. I don't normally do spreads, I just pick cards. But I like seeing what meanings the cards have when I just simply pick them. No spread. But some of you might feel differently, but we're all different and we each work differently. Next is the in-between. The message and activation for this one is, it's okay for me to be in the in-between. There's no rush. I patiently plant seeds for my becoming. I trust that I won't miss what's for me. Endings hurtle us to the edge of our lives, to the in-between. This quiet and uncomfortable place is one we'd prefer to avoid, and we'd much rather find more familiar ground. It's here that we're no longer where or who we once were, and also not yet where or who we'll be someday soon. We're in the in-between, between the doom and the womb. There's often a letting go involved, and grief or mourning, a death of self or what once was. This card is one of endings, transitions, and new beginnings. That which was once important to us has changed or is changing. Our relationships, jobs, identities, way of being. Transition, change, and rebirth are imminent, but before anything new can come, we must let what has been end properly. It's in the in-between that we're in our becoming, and while this can sometimes last longer than we might wish, it's actually a very exciting place to be. The seeds of the future are beginning to take root, and if we're patient, our second harvest will be even better than the first. It's in the fertile void between what was and what will be that we plant seeds for the future in the dark soil. And while it's easy to mistake this period as a stage of growth in which nothing much is happening beneath the surface, things have never been more active, and one day soon a whole new garden will be born. Next we have Life Force. Message and activation for this one is, I choose to align my energy centers with a pulse of life. I say yes to that which increases my vital energies and makes me come alive. I recognize that I am an extension of the energy of the earth. There's an intelligent, sacred pulse woven through all of life. The sacred, intelligent pulse is within all living things. It's the life force itself and one of the greatest mysteries there is. When we're connected to that, we're connected to life itself. This card comes with a message of vitality and connection. It can appear when we feel energetically alive, or it can be a wake-up call to consider whether we feel disconnected from this force, and then to find a way to make decisions based on what increases our connection to our life force or vital energy. It can also represent a Kundalini Shakti awakening, which occurs when the spiritual energy dormant within the body begins to activate and rise. Shakti, is the Sanskrit word for the spiritual cosmic energy of the divine feminine. No two Kundalini Shakti awakenings are the same. Many side effects can occur, from physical shaking to bouts of ecstatic bliss, and from physical and emotional purging to seeing spiritual visions of past lives or ancestral memories, and the processing of what has been dormant in the physical. This card is a powerful one to receive. It's like a bolt of lightning, full of activating energy, and often indicates a period of awakening and transformation, frequently with physical symptoms. The invitation is to align with the life force. It comes with a question: what in your life increases your life force? What in your life diminishes your life force? Next we have mercy. The message and activation says, I welcome compassion, tenderness, and mercy from the world around me, and I offer it to the world too. Mercy, compassion, tenderness. This is what the world most needs. Peace is impossible without this. Oneness isn't either. Mercy is the medicine for humanity in these divisive times, especially when we're not extending it to ourselves. Let the dehumanizing stop. May the division melt away within the collective and within ourselves. Life is full of experiences that cause the heart to harden, to close over, to shut off in an effort to protect or avoid. But this hardening, closing, shutting down prevents us from receiving the joy, peace, and love that we most long for and need. Mercy, compassion, and tenderness can soften what is hardened, melt what is frozen over, open what is closed. So often we keep score, but no one wins that game. When we're hurt, it's easy to shame and blame, disconnect and separate. When we've been harmed, it's a natural reflex to fight back. But if we truly are all connected, then what's done to one is done to the many, which means it's done to us too. What if we were all to do our best in this thing called life? Are you or is someone in your life hungry for mercy? How can you offer it if you or someone else is harsh, or brittle? Offer a little tenderness. Next we have sensuality. The activation and message says, I choose to drop more fully into my sensual true nature and allow myself to receive the pleasure of life through my senses. Sensuality is different from sexuality. Sensuality embraces the pleasures of life. Sensuality is of the senses, and the senses are of the body. The best way to get into the present moment to connect with the pulse of life is to become aware of your senses. Smell, taste, touch. What do you feel? What do you see? What do you hear? Listen with your whole body. Experience life more fully. The body's senses are so often repressed or numbed out. Savoring them is a spiritual practice. Returning to them is deeply healing. The body is the way home. Without the senses, deep joy is impossible. Without the senses, pleasure is impossible. Without the senses, intuition isn't possible. The body is intuitive. The sensual body is sacred. Return to the present moment through the gateway of your senses. Return to the pleasure of life through the gateway of your senses. Caress yourself, embrace yourself, experience yourself more fully. Receive the pleasure of this human life through your body's senses. This card is an invitation to receive more pleasure, to slow down and taste life a little more deeply, to make decisions based on what would bring more joy and bliss, rather than being driven by shoulds and duty. What makes you feel more alive? How can you embrace your sensuality a little more? How can you taste life message for this one is, I call all parts of my soul to be here now. This card can appear for two reasons. Firstly, because the lost part of your soul is wanting to return home to you. Sometimes the loss, shame, or hurt we experience is too great. Part of our soul leaves our body. When this happens, it can feel like part of us is missing, or as if we're not quite ourselves. Secondly, it can be because your soul is trying to get your attention. Perhaps you've been spending too much time living from your head rather than your heart. Maybe your soul is longing for you to listen to it, to express it, to spend time with it. This card can come as a warning to wake up and remember the soul. The soul can be likened to both the ancient, wise part of you and the divine child within. The ancient Greeks spoke of two different types of time, chronos time and kairos time. Chronos time is linear time, logical time, and the time of the mind. Kairos time is soul time, creative time, mystical time. This card is inviting you to spend more time here in kairos time. What does your soul most want you to do? What's your soul most yearning for? How do you feel most connected to your soul? How can you call more and more of your soul back into your body and the center of your life? Next, we have the tall poppy. The activation and message for this one is, I refuse to take up less space or dim my light in accordance with others' opinions. I allow the potency of my truth and light to occupy each and every cell and take up the entire room unapologetically. The tale of the tall poppy says that the poppy that rises highest in the field will be cut down. This card appears when someone is called to be visible in the world and soar to greater heights than before, yet they may feel daunted by the size of the call and fear negative reactions, criticism, and envy from people around them. Shame is a tool used by the patriarchy to keep us captive, so refuse to feel ashamed, refuse to take up less space, refuse to be bound or dimmed. If you live in a way that attempts to appease everyone, your medicine will be wasted. Your presence being a vital note in the great orchestra of life, reach high and rise like the tallest poppy in the field, for this is your destiny. If fear or shame or confusion or grief come, do whatever you need to do to move this through your body. Dance, sing, shake, scream, walk, run, talk to a trusted one. Don't let any part of your soul leave. Your light is needed here. Next, we have unhookable. The activation and message for this one is, I honor my inner strength and authority. I draw my power from deep within. Look at the progress you've made. You've arrived. Finally, healing and change are here. We know we've come a long way when those things that once triggered us no longer do. That person that plays the old story, that family dynamic, after what feels like way too long, all of a sudden, what used to knock you off course or send you into a spin no longer does so. Instead of spiraling and giving away your power, you find yourself standing steady, whole, and tall. The thing or person that once had power over you no longer does. That wounded part of you has finally healed. This card is a celebration of how far you've come and how much work you've done. It honors the path you've taken and the journey you've been on. To be unhookable means that you've healed that which once threw you off course. To be unhookable means to stand in your own power. To be unhookable means that you draw your strength from within. To be unhookable means that your roots are deep and your interconnection is strong. Congratulations, you've come such a long way. Honor it and acknowledge the progress you've made. Celebrate the growth you've achieved. Next we go to the Soul Increase Suit. Next one is the Burning Rose. Honestly, I'm just really happy and pleased by the artwork in this one. Not that every single art by Katie Louise isn't a banger, but I don't know, there's just something very satisfying about seeing it in person, because I had only gotten like sneak peeks of a few of these cards through Rebecca's emails. So it's really nice to see the whole entire thing, and I'm so super excited to use it in my readings. I'll have to see if I want to add it to my monthlies as well, because pretty much every other deck is being used in it. But you know what, I'll probably end up using it in the first part of those to go with the crystal selections and the moon phase messages. And leave the rose, the water, and the star cards as the pick a card. I kind of figured that the first part would probably be the part that I would add more cards to, but let me guys know what you think. Comment down below what your thoughts are. Anyway, the burning rose, the soul inquiry and message says, what do you feel angry or frustrated about? Can you transform that anger into passion by changing your focus from what you're against to what you're for? The burning rose is the symbol of sacred rage, of anger alchemized into something creative, into passion, not destruction. We tend to see anger and rage as something we should avoid, as if expressing these emotions is to be avoided or even wrong, as if anger is something that should be controlled and restrained. Boys are taught that their anger is dangerous, and women that their rage is feminine. Women who have their courage to harness their anger are often accused of being crazy and unstable, but this stops the flow of passion and the ferocious urge of the feminine to protect what's sacred. Anger or rage is often a reflection of what's important to us. It can be a signpost to our boundaries, or lack thereof. It can be a guiding light revealing what we most truly care for, long for, or wish to protect. It can also hold within it the codes of our true passion and purpose, but we must do the job of listening to our anger and offering it a safe space to be released and expressed. When we repress something, there's always a consequence. It might fester in the body and make us sick. It might paralyze us and prevent us from living passionately, or it might be expressed in ways that are physically, mentally, and emotionally harmful to others. Alchemizing anger in positive ways and using it to create rather than repress or negatively destroy is some of the holiest work there is. Thinking of Jesus flipping tables in the temple, that's what that makes me think of. Like, come on, he got angry too, and he used it in positive ways. Next we have create some space. The inquiry for this one is, how are you being called to create more space in your life? I think this one so far is one of my favorite colored cards. It's so pretty. It's got all of my favorite colors. Many mystical texts suggest that grace fills the spaces where courage is enough to leave empty. How are you being called to make more space in your life? How can you create more room to breathe? How can you allow more space in your life? What would happen if you resisted the need to busy yourself or to be certain and instead, just for a moment, stopped? This card is encouraging you to take it easy and rest in the unknown mystery that's waiting for you, to be silently bold toward your becoming. Life is a co-creative journey, but in order for that creation to happen, we must enter into a collaborative relationship with the mystery of life itself. Maybe you've been in overdrive for a while. Maybe you prefer it when you're in control. Or perhaps you've just been doing the same thing for some time and are feeling a little bored. How can you create more space in your life to both dream into the future and let life surprise you? What if by creating some space, you were to find an unexpected blessing or the future fulfillment of a dream waiting for you there? All of life begins in the metaphoric and actual for a void of the womb. When something ends, whether that be a relationship, a job, a TV show, or a conversation with a friend, many feel the need to fill the space with something else. But if we find a way to honor endings, to gather the courage to be in between what was and what will be, something incredible and new can be born. Next we have The Darkest Night. I'm surprised a little bit that we have a card that is the same image on the box. I don't recall any of the other decks sucks having such a card, but that's pretty interesting. It's such a pretty art. No wonder they used it in here. Like, it's so cool. It's very striking. The inquiry for this one is, how is life currently trying to initiate you? Some glamorize the spiritual awakening process, implying that it's all light and love, expanding highs, unity consciousness, deep peace, ecstatic bliss, and spiritual visions. One thing's for certain, those people probably haven't been through the dark nights of the soul. This is a time of deep initiation for the soul. After the expansion caused at earlier ages of the awakening journey, we're invited to descend into what's been hidden in the shadows, inherited, pushed down, silenced, ignored, or bypassed. We're called to go deeper than we ever have before as we welcome more and more of our soul here into our body and onto the planet. And as we do, we discover the lost parts of ourselves that demand to be held and seen, and those parts ask that we sit with them as they feel in order to heal. These are the excruciating holy days of rebirth, of transfiguration, of dying and being reborn while still fully living. If we choose to cross this threshold, we're invited to allow our soul to come more fully into our body and the planet. This can be painful, as we're forced to confront any separation or shadows that we find along the way. We must face the polarity and separation of this human life, as well as the joy and the sweetness. These are initiatory times. The only way out is through, and if you let life initiate you, you'll be transformed anew. This is a powerful card of rebirth and transformation, cloaked in the darkest nights, seemingly separated from the divine we once so deeply knew. We're invited to find the sacred that is all around us, below us, and within us. Next we have Deeper Than Before. The inquiry for this one is, has your soul been scheduled to go deeper than before? How are you being called to go all in? Has your soul been scheduled to go deeper than before? If you pulled this card, chances are it has been. If this card had an astrological chart, it would have several planets in Scorpio. Full of depth, intensity, and passion, it invites us to descend into the deepest expression of this life. It asks that we commit more fully to our own life. This could be a relationship or a creative project or other area of life, or it could show up as a deep lesson for the soul. This period might ask a lot of you, but it will also bring many gifts. The rewards that you'll reap will far outweigh the journey that you'll take. At times, you may doubt your ability to move through it, but it's in this very moment that what's falling away is being alchemized into something new. This isn't the time to skirt about the surface. It's the time to dive fully in. This isn't the time to bypass the lesson. This is the time to explore the deepest, darkest depths. Perhaps you find yourself in an initiatory period where things are different than before, where you're doubting what you once knew for certain. Perhaps life is asking a lot of you right now. One thing is for sure, if you say yes to the invitation, you won't be the same person that you were before, and that's a good thing. Change is imminent, and life is trying to initiate you. Next, we have the end is also the beginning. The inquiry for this one is, what are you being called to release in order to start something new? The end is the beginning, and the beginning is also the end. Mourning is on the other side of mourning. Healing is on the other side of feeling. Rebirth is on the other side of death. Everything in this world begins again, if you have the courage to let it properly end. Life is always trying to initiate us into who we're becoming. It's nature's way, and it always involves change. Change is the one constant in life. Nature is the greatest mystery school there is. The snake knows, the rosehip does too. We need to surrender what once was to one day be reborn anew. Change can be scary, for it means surrendering to the unknown and trusting in your rebirth by letting go of what once was, to being not who you were and not quite who you'll soon become. It requires us to trust in the transformation, for we're always transforming, to trust in the death for the rebirth disconnected from life force and life we become. When we embrace change, we embrace life and nature and our forever becoming. It's what the soul came here for. It's the bridge of spirit and matter. Your soul came here to truly live. Next, we have the golden thread. The inquiry for this one is, what's your soul's greatest dream? How can you act on it now? Your soul had a dream to be here now, in this body, on this planet, at this time, and you have everything you need to realize your soul's destiny in every moment of every day. The golden thread is the path of your destiny. The golden thread holds the potential of all that was, is, and could be. The golden thread of your life is always available to guide you every step of the way toward your soul's deepest dreams. The golden thread is woven throughout all your life experiences. It doesn't always make sense, but with time and perspective you can see its intricate weavings glistening back at you at the center of your life. It's never too late to follow the golden thread of your life, and you can never be too old, for the golden thread of your life is always within your reach. Whatever your soul is calling you to do will lead you to your golden thread. Wherever you most feel connected with the great spirit of life is where you'll find your golden thread. This card is here to remind you that your soul came here with a plan, a dream to be brought to life. It's time to say yes to that now. Next we have the holiest temple. The inquiry for this one is, how are you being called to move your body today? The body is the destination and the pathway home to everything we seek. There's no greater power and no deeper wisdom than that which exists within. Your body has an intelligence beyond what you could possibly imagine. It's always talking to you, sometimes singing, other times screaming. It's through the body that our soul and the divine can speak. Your intuitive senses are forever delivering information to guide you every moment of every day. What's your body wanting you to know today? What does it have to say? How can you call your soul to you more fully? So many of us were taught to dismiss the body or to see the body as something other than sacred. This is one of the worst crimes there is, for there's no greater companion for the soul than the physical body, and no more sacred a vessel than it. This card is an invitation to move your body and to cherish it, to prioritize its needs above all else, to honor it, to shower gratitude upon it. Yes, the body is the destination, not just the vehicle. It will show you how to process and how to heal. Through the body, you'll be able to experience it all, the highs and the lows, the salty and the sweet, the ecstasy and the agony. When we're disconnected from the body, we're disconnected from the sacred and the soul. Your body knows how to move through all that life throws at you. So dance, run, walk, shake. Whatever you do, your body knows what you need, and it will show you the way through everything and anything if you let it. Next we have Just Watch Me. The inquiry for this one is, if you were feeling confident, what would you do? Watch out, world, here you come. It's time to make your entrance, to leave your mark, to let yourself be seen and your presence known. You're ready. This moment has been a long time coming. You've been working toward it for a while now. All the details are being taken care of, what others think of you is irrelevant. This is a card of unbridled confidence, self-worth, encouragement, confirmation, and empowerment, of stepping out and taking up space. You don't need anyone's approval but your own. No permission slip is needed. You've arrived. This isn't the time to question, fit in, or play small. This is the time to expand and emanate. You were not born for the sidelines. Step forth and radiate with confidence. If you've been working towards something for a while, this card is an indication that your effort will pay off. If others have doubted or underestimated you, this is your sign to keep going and trust yourself. What would you do if you were truly confident? How would you hold yourself, and what would you say? If you knew it would work out, what would you do and how would you do it? Whatever the answer is, do that. Don't waste your time worrying about what others might think or say. Don't look back. Keep your gaze straight ahead and let them watch on. Next we have the masks we wear. The inquiry for this one is, how are you trying to fit in? What mask are you wearing? How can you embrace more of your authentic self. Authenticity is the highest vibration there is. Being around someone who is authentic, who knows what they are, and whose inner self matches what we see and hear, is so liberating. Their truth activates something within us too. Many of us have been taught to wear masks, but when we wear a mask, this takes a toll on our body and soul. When we wear a mask, we abandon our true authentic self, and this can be sensed too by those around us. Some wear a mask because they don't know who they are, while others do so because they're trying to be whoever the world wants them to be, which essentially means abandoning themselves to stop others from abandoning them. But in reality, it will hurt 10 times more if we abandon ourselves by being who we think others want us to be, and we're still not received despite the weight of that mask. When the fear of abandonment comes up, the invitation is always to turn toward yourself and say, I'll never leave you. To offer yourself the love and companionship you're afraid of losing or of not receiving. To find safety in your own company. To find love in your own presence. To gather up the courage to be who you truly are. To take off the mask and stand tall in your authenticity. Next we have projections. The inquiry for this one is, who is triggering you? What is it that's triggering within you? Be brutally honest with yourself. What are you being called to do? Those people who trigger something in us hold up a mirror to what's within ourselves. Projection is a defense mechanism whereby we mistake what's going on within us for what's happening in the world around us. Nevertheless, that which we avoid facing will show up in our lives as fate. Those feelings, behaviors, or beliefs that we choose not to explore, admit, name, or claim are projected onto those around us. This is why shadow work is crucial, as without it, that which is in the unconscious will continue to appear in the external world. There's wisdom in the saying that when you're pointing your finger at someone else, turn it around and look back at yourself. Of course, it takes courage to do this, for it requires us to delve into the shadows of our psyche, but we'll find the gift of freedom here. We can be triggered by those who we despise, as well as those we admire. Who frustrates or triggers you the most? What is it about this person that you can't stand or that you admire the most? How does this quality relate to the way you think about yourself? I'm reminded of that verse that says, Take the log out of your own eye in order to see the stick in your brother's eye. That sort of thing. Next we have simplicity. And the inquiry for this one is, what in your life is overcomplicated or draining your energy? How can you make things a little simpler? The days of hustle and burnout must come to an end. There's no sustainable growth waiting for us there, only exhaustion and the depletion of what's most precious. Those who choose potency over mass production, heart over head, slow over driven, will be the ones who flourish and lead. Release all the time wasting, energy wasting, and resource wasting. While in the past they got you ahead, now as we enter this new quickening paradigm, they'll become less and less productive and effective. The earth is making sure of it. Anything that's unsustainable will not flourish. This is the law of the earth. You'll be rewarded for simplicity, praised for potent authenticity. Be the creative, the human, the mystic, the dreamer. Don't succumb to feeding the more machine. Don't waste the seeds you came here to plant. Peel back the unnecessary outgoings. Keep things potent and free. Anything that traps you, disconnects you from the sacred pulse of life. Your energy, your life force, your love, your time are the most valuable forces. Protect them and treat them like the precious resources they are. This is how you'll acquire true wealth. This is how you'll flourish. This is how you'll receive deep soul satisfaction. This is how to truly live. That is it for the soul inquiry cards, and now we come to the polarity cards. I think this one's going to be a lot of fun and interesting. And the first one we have is aligned, misaligned. Okay, this is an interesting one because this kind of works slightly similar to things if they're reversed. But I like that these are like a lot rarer than tarot cards, and I think it's interesting that they're also like opposites. I'm not entirely sure if tarot also has, if it's reversed, it's opposite, but I like that. It seems like both parts and meanings are important, and there's something here that says which part of the card is right side up, which meaning is calling to you the most. How can you bring both parts and meanings into balance? For aligned and misaligned, aligned is authenticity, harmony, honesty, truth, genuineness, yes, ease, flow, embracing what is, open. Misaligned is inauthentic, incongruent, pushing, controlling, mistruths, no, control, disingenuous, stuck, withholding, forcing an outcome. Alignment is the highest vibration there is. This is because alignment is the ultimate harmony. Alignment doesn't pretend things are working or the sun is shining when it's not. It simply is. When people are aligned and authentic, we feel that congruence in our system. When we speak in alignment and authentically, there's a resonance that can be deeply felt. It takes courage to be authentic and aligned, for it requires embracing what is, a welcoming of the truth. Choosing the authentic or aligned path isn't always the easiest option. Misalignment is an experience we all know. That feeling when the record scratches, those sandpaper moments when something deep within us says, that isn't quite right. It's easy to ignore these moments, these bits of information from our inner senses, in an effort to keep the peace. But more often than not, our first instincts are always right, and sometimes it's easier to admit it sooner rather than later. If this card appears with aligned the right way up, it can be an indication that things are congruent and give the message of yes, yes, yes. If it appears with misaligned right side up, then you may choose to question what it is that's not quite in alignment for you. This will definitely make things interesting when I'm shuffling later. Because I typically try to shuffle with all of the cards facing the same way or right side up. So it'll be interesting to see that what's if I should shuffle these a different way. Probably definitely add to the randomness of the polarity suits inside of the deck, which is kind of what we're looking for. Alright, the next one is connection, separation. Connection is unity, relationship, interaction, interdependence. Separation is isolation, detachment, disconnection, independence. Relationships are the things that test and teach us the most. Connection is a human need, and through relationships we're able to experience this most deeply. Both connection and separation are part of the human experience. One isn't better than the other, yet there are times where connection is needed, whether that be connection with others or connection with self. For some, separation or isolation becomes a coping mechanism to avoid getting hurt. For those who are afraid of being alone, separation from others so that they can return to themselves may be the exact medicine they need. At times of conflict, sometimes the antidote is to endeavor to see the other person as part of you, to find a way back to connection. At other times, taking some time apart can be helpful to the situation. If this card appears with connection right side up, the invitation is for you to consider how you can deepen your connection with someone. If it appears with separation right side up, consider how you're being called to separate yourself from a situation energetically, or where you feel separation in your life. Regardless of which meaning is right side up, place your hand on your heart, connect with your inner temple, and ask, in this situation, what's the medicine I most need? Connection or separation? And what's one practical thing you can do to act on this today? Next, we have Destiny Life, Fated Life. That's interesting. I would think that Destiny and Fate are synonyms, but I suppose Fate is something that is set before you, and Destiny is something that you choose. Something interesting. Okay. Destiny Life, the soul path, the dream of your soul, trusting the call within, life purpose, courage will be rewarded, listening to yourself, daring and passionate, what's true for you. Fated Life, the safe option, doing the right thing, doing the expected thing, external influences, listening to the opinions of others, what other people want. The fated life is the expected life, the one that's most likely, and the one you'll live if external circumstances direct you. It's the one you'll live if you believe what society, the people, and the systems say you are, and if you do what they say you should do. The fated life is the safe life, but in living it, you may find that there's music still in you that longs to be expressed, or a feeling of, is this all there is? The destiny life is the life that the soul dreams of. It requires listening to and trusting the wild and daring call within. It takes great courage to live the destiny life, for it requires that you trust yourself above all else. It requires you to truly live. With courage come reward and fulfillment. The destiny life is the one you live when you choose to live consciously, to trust and follow the voice within rather than heed the noise and influences outside you. You have a decision to make. Do you choose the fated life or the destiny life? Do you choose the safe option or the courageous one that makes you come alive? Next we have feminine, masculine. Feminine, maternal line, feminine energy, goddess, woman, sister, sisterhood, female ancestors, nurturing, the moon, depth, potency, mother issues, nourishment, sensuality, the unseen world. Masculine, paternal line, masculine energy, God, man, brother, male ancestors, support, foundations, building, the sun, drive, father issues, strength, practicalities, the physical world. This card can represent the masculine and feminine energies within or around you. We each have these energies within us, regardless of our gender identification. This card can represent the masculine and feminine energetically, or it can represent actual people in our lives who embody masculine or feminine energies, or who identify as masculine or feminine. If you pull the card with feminine right side up, the invitation may be to embrace the feminine qualities within yourself, or it may be drawing your attention to a person who embodies the feminine in your life, and asking you to consider those key relationships in your life that may be relevant to the reading. If you pull the card with masculine right side up, the invitation may be to embrace the masculine qualities within yourself, or it may be drawing your attention to a person who embodies the masculine in your life and asking you to consider those key relationships in your life that may be relevant to the reading. Next, we have freedom, trapped. So these cards are so pretty. I love them so much. Freedom, expansive expression, inspiration, embracing who you truly are, room to breathe, dancing with life, soaring, taking responsibility for your needs, contentment, courageous living. Trapped, fitting into a box, playing small and safe, stagnation, resisting change, doing the right thing, fear, resentment, anxiety, ignoring your needs, avoidance. The soul longs for freedom, room to express and grow. It longs to reveal to us more and more of who it truly is, to be in discovery, curiosity, to play and create unrestrained, to learn through experience. This is how we grow, this is how we truly live. When we're free to be who we truly are, we become intoxicatingly attractive. People want to be around us because it liberates them. That aura authenticity triggers what's trapped within them. If this card appears with trapped right side up, you're invited to question where in your life you feel trapped or reined in. How are you playing small or caught up in doing the right thing? What are you denying yourself? What does your soul truly crave? How can you give yourself more room to breathe, express yourself, and be? If this card appears with freedom right side up, it's often a good sign that what you're currently living or creating is aligned with your soul, that your creativity is being expressed, or that you have many joyful, playful, and expansive moments ahead of you. It can also mean that your soul is ready to soar, that unbridled joy or success is awaiting you or is already here. A wonderful message to receive. Next we have inner spring, inner autumn. Oh, nice. We've got two cards, season cards. Inner spring, new beginnings, planting seeds, getting ready to bloom, tending your dreams, upward energy, excitement, potential, inspiration. Feels like there's so much potential here. Exciting. Inner autumn, letting go, wildness, realignment, courage, falling best teacher within that mystery school has got to be the seasons. Just as the seasons around us change, or in our life, we can also experience inner seasons. Knowing which season you're in can help you to negotiate that period, and being able to embrace the season you're moving into can offer strong medicine and guidance that will help you navigate what lies ahead. Some journaling prompts for this are, for the inner spring, what lights you up? What's your soul calling you to do? What's your heart's deepest prayer? If you knew you'd be supported, what would you do? What's your secret dream? What do you want to experience next? How can you truly live? And for inner autumn, what's falling away? What are you clinging onto for fear of nothing coming to take its place? If you weren't afraid of your power, what would you do? How are you being called to transmute your sacred rage into something productive? And then we have inner summer, inner winter. Inner summer, blooming, opening to life, saying yes, pleasure, joy, tasting the sweetness of life, rapture, ecstasy, adventure, energy, solar, warmth, enjoyment, being social, being visible, play, fun, creativity. Feels like I've arrived, things are happening for me, let's do this. Inner winter, initiation, rebirth, renewal, rest, going underground, the fertile void, surrender, mystery, unknowing, death. The end is also the beginning, union. Feels like nothing will ever grow again, a yearning for rest and quiet. The seasons are probably the most powerful teachers there are in the great mystery school of nature. We can experience inner seasons too, and when we're aware of which season we find ourselves in, we'll be better placed to progress through it. Accepting the season we're moving into can also offer us medicine and guidance that will help us meet what comes. Journaling for inner summer. What's rising in you? What are you being called to create? If you were feeling abundant, what would you do? How can you say yes to life? What do you long to do just for fun? What's blooming within you? What brings you pleasure? What are you being called to embrace? Journaling for inner winter. How are you being called to slow down? What new seeds are you being called to nurture? How are you being called to rest? What does the wise part of you want you to know? Next, we have let go, hold on. Let go, freeing, loosening your hold, stepping away, making space for new growth. Hold on, determination, staying power, sticking with it, commitment, and for the long haul. There are times when we're called to hold on and times when we're called to surrender, but how do we know what to do when the things we cling on to are often the ones that we're most called to let go of? But just because we cling to them doesn't mean they're not meant for us, nor that they'll fall away if we do gather the courage to loosen our grip. Sometimes the act of letting go or of not clinging so tightly is the very thing that enables a situation to transform, so that it remains yet is better and more aligned than before. Or if it is not, then something more aligned now has the space to enter eventually. If this card appears with hold on right side up, it can be an invitation to fight for what's important to you, to stand up for your beliefs, to have a difficult conversation, to keep working towards something that doesn't appear to be working, or to really work on a relationship that might feel difficult. If the card appears with let go right side up, then consider what you might be forcing, trying to control, or refusing to release. What are you clinging on to for fear that it will go away and nothing will come to take its place? Next we have the Mystic, the Machine. The Mystic, creativity, magic, dreamer, alignment, potency, awe, flow, harmony, deep connection, inner world, nectar, overspilling, unique medicine, satisfaction, unrestrained, wild, free, intimacy, purpose, unique expression. The Machine, unsustainable ways, soulless, greed, parched, external validation, reaching, exhaustion, pushing, churn and burn, meaninglessness, paper thin, hungry for more, controlling, shallow. The Mystic is dedicated to having a direct and intimate relationship with the sacred. Mystics are the artists, the poets, the visionaries, and the dreamers. The world needs more mystics right now to create and make new myths for humanity. The Mystic prioritizes the soul, while the Machine lacks a soul. The Mystic creates, the Machine produces. Anyone can produce pretty much anything if they try, yet no one can create quite like you. If the mystic is right way up, it's an acknowledgement of your sacred purpose and an encouragement to go even deeper. If the machine is right side up, consider whether you've been putting too much emphasis on the external for guidance rather than the internal. Our modern society tends to capitalize on what's well received, but we must be careful not to dampen the creative spark that made it possible. When we use our creativity for a controlled outcome, we can easily lose the magic and turn into producing, not creating. Producing starves the soul. It turns the mystic into a machine. This is the challenge for the artist or for the mystic, to create, not to produce. Next we have plenty, scarcity. Plenty, abundance, gratitude, receiving, overflowing, more than enough, harvest, success, bounty, legacy, the invitation, manifestation, balance, harmony. Scarcity, lack, needing, grabbing, desperation, not enough, depletion, exhaustion, should, resentment, taking more than you need, panic, worry, separation. This is a card about resourcing and receiving. It can be a reflection of your current mindset or energy levels, or it can be a representation of where things may be headed based on how you're currently spending your thoughts, energy, and time. It's about your mindset and the way you live your life, as much as it's about physical reality, for our current beliefs, thoughts, energy, and behaviors can influence our future physical reality. Plenty is a reflection of overspilling, bounty, goodness, abundance, flow, ease, and joy. The earth is naturally abundant and plentiful. However, if some of us take more than we need, if we hoard and grab and get greedy, there won't be enough for everyone. This is where the planet is right now, and we're all being called to turn this ship around. Scarcity is a reflection of lack, desperation, and exhaustion. The well is running dry, and things cannot keep going the way they have been. If this card appears with plenty right side up, this is a very welcome message that harmony and abundance are either here or on their way. When scarcity is right side up, this can indicate exhaustion or be an invitation to shift your energy, thoughts, and behaviors away from what's unsustainable. Next we have the seen, the unseen. Looks like this is the last card. We made it. The seen, what's in the physical, in form, obvious, certain, known, masculine, spoken about, conscious, manifested. What you see is what you get. Surface level, clear goals. The unseen, what's in the spiritual, mystical, energetic, mysterious, feminine, unconscious, subconscious. Look a little deeper. Subtlety, depth, secret dreams. What's within us is eventually reflected outside ourselves in our lives. As above, so below. However, what's within sometimes takes longer to manifest into form. We're spiritual beings having a physical experience, so developing a balanced relationship between the inner and outer worlds is essential. Many people live their lives purely based on the seen and unknown and seen and known physical world, yet increasingly we're waking up to the mystical, the inner, the sacred that is within all things, including ourselves. This card is a prompt to reflect on where you've been focusing your energy. It can also be an invitation either to look a little deeper or to do the opposite and get out of your head. If the card appears with the seen facing right side up, it's an invitation to focus on what's happening in the physical, not to overanalyze people's words or motives, to take care of the practicalities of what's happening in the real world. When the unseen is right side up, it's an invitation to look inward and contemplate, to reflect on what's really happening beneath the surface, to inquire into emotions, energy, and real motives, whether conscious or unconscious, ours or someone else's. So that is the Inner Temple Oracle. The idea is for this one to kind of go deeper into the mystic experience. And as a Christian, I look at it as those of us who have accepted the gift of salvation, we have been given the Holy Spirit to live within us. And so for me, this deck is kind of a deck that if we're turning inwards, we're listening to the Spirit's voice, to let ourselves be led. us that God has given us directly. I hope that makes sense. But that's just kind of how I'm approaching it. But yeah, I really enjoyed going through this deck, and I'm really excited to use it. And I'm also going to partake in the activation ceremony for this deck, which will probably have happened by the time this video goes up. But I'm excited, very much excited to use this deck. And I hope you guys enjoyed me going through it. If you want to leave a like or subscribe or comment, any little bit of support to my channel helps me reach all of you guys. Even if I help one person through this channel, I've done my job, and you guys being here helps me continue to do that. So thank you so much for your support. I love you all, and I will see you next time. Stay sparkling, cameos.